back to this week's edition of the Falcon Precap. I'm Connor Putman alongside co-host Curtis Hyde, and we will later be joined by Marcus Rodriguez. Here's what's going on at the Air Force Academy for the week of April 13th.
Well, last week, baseball came into the week looking hot. They're on a 5-game winning streak, shot up to the UNC Northern Colorado facilities and blew them out 12-3. But then they took a trip down south, and things went a little different. Well, the Falcons took a slight skid last week as they dropped 3 straight to the Lobos in a series down in New Mexico. Now, they did drop their record to 10-8 overall in the Mountain West Conference, but tonight they will host the UNC Bears again as they laid a whooping on them last week, hoping to get them back on track. Well, this Friday, the Falcons will welcome the Fresno State Bulldogs in for a weekend series starting at 3 p.m. on Friday. If you have some time and some sunscreen, please head out to the ballpark to support them, as they do only have 1 loss at home this season. Now, let's take a look and see what else has happened in the Academy this week as we catch up with Marcus with a little lacrosse.
Well, last Saturday, Falcon Lacrosse headed out to Macon, Georgia, where they pulled out the 10-7 victory over the Mercer Bears. A few Falcons tallied points that day to include Hat Trick Nick and, of course, Chris Walsh. A few other scores to include Keith Dreyer and Nate Ruby at 2 apiece, and Doug Gouchot with 9 saves to help clinch the victory. Now, the Falcons have another game this Saturday against Robert Morris, so get out there and support the Falcons as they look to defend the home turf yet again. Now we're going to head back into the studio as we catch up with a tennis update.
Thanks, Marcus. It looks absolutely beautiful outside. It's a little bit cooler here in the studio, but we're going to jump right into some men's and women's tennis action. Now, the season will end this weekend, Saturday, against New Mexico. However, they had 2 matches each this past week. The men dropped 2 home conference matches, and the women split against Wyoming and CSU on the road. Now, out of the women, Chloe Forlini, we talked about her a little bit last week. She was 31 wins, which was tied for the most in school history. She broke that and is now the leader in Air Force history for women's tennis wins at 32 wins. She's 32-7 on the season, and she looks to make it 33-7 this next weekend. The men's tennis team is still looking for their first home conference win, and they hopefully will get that this week at home, 2 o'clock Saturday against New Mexico.
Well, thanks, Connor, for that tennis update, but let's talk about a little women's basketball. We all know the season has wrapped up and the championships have been crowned, but we're talking about a little bit of awards here at the Academy for the team MVP that was handed out to Jimmy Blagowski this last weekend, as she led the squad this year with 13.2 points per game and also was 9th overall in the Mountain West Conference for scoring. We want to give her a shout out and wish her the best of luck after graduating this year.
That's right, Curtis. We also had a men's tennis player as the athlete of the week. Grant Taylor, the senior, went a perfect 4-0 this weekend. 2-0 in his singles matches and 2-0 in his doubles matches. Now, they weren't just regular matches. He beat a ranked opponent in each one of those events. So great job, Grant. Keep up the good work and finish the season out strong.
Well, that's going to do it this week for the Falcon Precap. As always, we want to thank you so much for catching up with everything that's going on at the United States Air Force Academy. For any questions, events, or ticket information, please head to goairforcefalcons.com. We will see you next week, and remember, fly, fight, and win.